On this episode of Industry Relations, Rob and I react to the hit viral song, The Rich Men North of Richmond, and how it relates to housing. Let's go. This is Industry Relations, a podcast that's at the intersection of real estate and technology from an insider's perspective, with Rob Hahn and Greg Robertson.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Industry Relations with Rob and Greg. This is your co-host, the notorious Rob Hahn, and as always with me, the fabulous Greg Robertson. Woo! Greg,
Hola,
you are like our man in the field today with the microphone.
Yes, I am. I'm having some microphone issues. I'm at my garage studio, and I'm holding the mic in my hand this way so that Myerden doesn't have a heart attack as far as the audio department. So,
hey man, it might be time to upgrade the gear.
The humanity of it all. Oh my God!
You know, the fact is, there's a hurricane headed our way. So you could start practicing. Hurricane Hillary coming in hot. It's insane, dude. Like, I'm in Vegas. Like, temperature's supposed to go to like 78. It's like, that's nuts. Like, that's cold for us. Like,
all they've been talking about here in Huntington is like the 30-foot swells. So we'll see what happens.
Sure. Yeah. Let's hope let's hope it's just whatever. Some rain. We could use some rain. I don't want to see 100-mile winds and people dying and shit like that. That would be no good. So I thought we would try something we've never done before.
Oh man.
Because, well, like, it seems like everybody else is doing it, so we might as well too. But actually, of course, we are going to take a sort of a real estate housing angle on this. What am I talking about? I'm talking about this like super viral song that's just sweeping the country, right? And in case you've been living under a rock, there's a country singer named Oliver Anthony who was a complete unknown like a week ago. You know, just came out of nowhere and dropped this song called Rich Men North of Richmond. And just like the world is blown up, like the internet's blown up. And I thought it would be interesting, because fact is, man, the last few episodes we've done have been very heavy, like MLS lawsuits, association stuff. And I just feel like maybe, let's
there's the corruption angle in all those. So yeah,
there is. And so I think we're going to touch on it. So we've never done this before, like, a reaction video. But like I said, everybody else doing a reaction video too. So why not us? Hey, let's just do it as well.
Yeah, I will say just on the song name itself, I love writing copy. I love copy. The naming convention, the double entendre there, the rich men, people with money, north of Richmond, which is obviously Richmond, Virginia, meaning
that's right.
DC, where
that's right.
Capital is.
That's right.
What a great turn of phrase. What a just a juicy sentence or a song title that is. Yeah.
That's right. And I thought this was interesting because, one of the controversies around this, like some people, I'm thinking specifically like Rolling Stone, is like trying to make this into some sort of a right-wing MAGA song. And I'm like, there's nothing political about it. And I know you and I differ on our politics views.
Well, let's listen to it.
Let's listen to it. Let's do it. Let's dive right in. All right, here we go.
Well, I've been selling my soul, working all day, overtime hours for bullshit pay, so I can sit out here and waste my life away, drag back home and drown my troubles away. It's a damn shame what the world's gotten to for people like me, people like you.
Damn.
Wish I could just wake up and it not be true, but it is. Oh, it is living in the new world with an whole soul. The rich men north of Richmond, Lord knows it all. Just wanna have total control. Wanna know what you think, wanna know what you do, and they don't think you know, but I know that you do. Your dollar ain't shit, and it's taxed to no end. Cause the rich men, north of Richmond.
pause there real quick. Yeah. Now, it's not a true reaction because I think both of us have heard this already a couple of times, but man, it still hits. It still hits hard for me, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it's something about that kind of blues tradition, right? I mean, of just a twangy guitar and
Yep.
a call out like that. It goes, it's universal, man. Just universal.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. And I think, and we'll kind of get into like what's just so compelling about it. Forget the messaging, whatever, is just the sheer authenticity of it, right? Like there's no studio, there's no backup dancers, there's no auto tune, there's no producer, you know what I mean? It's just like a dude and a mic and a guitar in the fucking forest somewhere. It looks like,
it's like some sort of Appalachian blues kind of vibe to it, right? I mean, very, very cool.
Yeah, and honestly, I'm not really into this type of music. Like I do like bluegrass, I do like country a whole lot, but but man, god damn, like just I
love blues.
The authenticity,
yeah,
the honesty, just all right. Let's keep going.
I wish politicians look out for miners, and not just miners on an island somewhere. Lord, we got folks in the street, ain't got nothing to eat, and the obese milking welfare. So God, if you're 5'3" and you're 300 pounds, taxes ought not to pay for your bags of fudge rounds. Young men are putting themselves 6 feet in the ground, 'cause all this damn country does is keep on taking them down. Lord, it's a damn shame what the world's gotten to for people like me, people like you. Wish I could just wake up and it not be true, but it is. Oh, it is living in the new world with an whole soul. These rich men north of Richmond, Lord knows they all just want to have total control. Want to know what you think, want to know what you do, and they don't think you know, but I know that you do, because your dollar ain't shit, and it's taxed to no end, cause the rich men north of Richmond. I've been selling my soul, working all day, overtime hours for bullshit pay.
Yeah, it's really good, really good. Right?
It's hard. So let's get like. So the way I look at it is like you and I are in the 1%. You know what I mean? Like maybe not 1%. Like let's say at least the 10%. Top 5%, something. Right? We're not working class. I'm potentially one of those rich men north of Richmond, right? I went to all the right schools. I'm a lawyer by training. You're a successful entrepreneur. You know what I mean? But even I hear this, I'm like, God damn. It really hits hard because I didn't grow up with money. I didn't struggle for everything, worked hard for everything. So it's just, and I know you have as well. And it really, this song really hit hard for me. And there's some couple reasons why I want to kind of get your take on it. One of the things I've been doing the last couple of days, last couple of nights really, is there have now been a bunch of reaction videos, just like the one we're doing now.
Right.
But a lot of them have been from, I guess we'll call them more working class and middle class people. Right. And you see grown men break down. Right. And it's of all races. So, this notion of this some sort of right wing political thing is just utter bullshit. It's
I don't think so. I think it's both ends can
exactly.
any art, I think, it's got to speak to everybody, not just
It's
one
got it right.
side, really, right?
Right, because it's got to speak to like a human experience, like a human condition,
Yeah.
and it really just a lot of the comments, a lot of what people talked about, dude, was about housing. And the reason I
Yeah.
wanted to do this video was because he's absolutely fucking right. You know, there's so many of us, so many Americans that are just paycheck to paycheck, you know, working their asses off, you know, and just trying to make ends meet. And one of the things I talk about when it talks about like the dollar ain't shit, what a lot of the reaction videos were talking about them were like these younger, you know, probably people in their 30s, right? Talk about like housing. I can't afford to buy a house. Like I no longer, I'm working my ass off, I'm working these overtime hours, but you know, I'm never gonna be able to buy a house. These home prices are utterly crazy. Rent's
Yeah.
going up. It's a huge part of it, right? I mean, what do you think? Like, am I just?
No, I think you're absolutely right. I mean, you know, there's that sentiment out there. You know, we talked about it before this. You know, we're kind of echoing like the Carter thing, a malaise in the
Yeah,
country of that type of thing. And I think, you know, there's nothing so core as home, right? I mean, of
nothing,
having a home, right? I mean,
nothing.
that's where the heart is, right? That's where everything is. So when that's kind of become unattainable for a lot of people, I mean, it's not a good place to start, right? For sure. I mean, if you're just sending money to the man everywhere for where you're going to live,
Right.
that's a tough hoe there for sure.
That's right. And there are like three things. And when people like are talking about like trying to make ends meet, there are really three things that are non-negotiable, right? Like you have to spend money on, and it's food, right? It's housing, and it's energy, right? I mean, you know, you don't need a fucking Hulu subscription. Push comes shove. You don't need the latest cell phone, right? You know, but you need to eat. You need to live somewhere. Right? You need energy, whether it's like getting like fuel, right, gasoline for your car or heating oil for your house. Like you need energy, you need electricity. Like so, it hit hard for a lot of reasons. And I'm just trying to sort it out, right? I think part of the reason why it really got to me was, you know, when you and I talked about the corruption going on in San Diego, right? Um, and I made the point that like most realtors are not rich. You know, most realtors are not, you know, rolling in Bentleys and you know what I mean? Like that sort of social media kind of
Yeah.
fake bullshit that people
Bravo
put out.
TV.
Yeah, you know, that's not reality. Like most realtors actually make below median income, right? The average realtor was like 50,000 annual. Median income is about 70. Do you know, like, and a lot of them are just working their asses off. They're doing exactly what Alaranti's talking about, right? Working, you know, long hours, working weekends for bullshit peak because it's all commission, right? And here we are. We have these fucking people making 600,000 a year and still wanting to like steal more money from
Yeah,
those
good
people's
Lord.
dues. And it's like,
Come on, man. Yeah, come on, man.
right?
Yeah.
And yet, one of my frustrations about it, I think, one of the reasons I wanted to even talk about this is the NAR Leadership Summit just wrapped up, right? And I remember writing something like, hey, you know, when y'all get together, I don't know what else you're going to talk about, but if you're not talking about dealing with like literal criminal corruption within your own ranks, like what are you talking about? I haven't heard anything out of it. Have you?
Yeah, the two things I heard were, you know, Brad Inman wrote a LinkedIn post talking about something that a former NAR CEO had talked about, Dale Stinton, where
Mm-hmm.
he thought that the biggest threat to NAR was really their volunteer leadership.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, when we talked about this before, of them not having the, you know, the training, the capacity, whatever, to really, you know, govern or manage in a professional manner. And that was a big threat to the overall institution of NAR. Now, this was unconfirmed, but, you know, he had kind of put that out there to maybe, as you were saying, some things to kind of for NAR to think about. And I know there's a lot of consternation over there. I've been DM'd some stuff and some text of
Yeah.
that there were a lot of reporters from the Times there, still kind of soliciting this kind of rumored story that's supposed to be coming out.
Right.
And it's supposed to be talking about some of the government, some of the sexual harassment claims, not only of NAR, but maybe STR as well.
Sure.
And they're bracing for that. They think it's going to be negative. And I think they're trying to shore up as much as they can. I mean, it's funny, but hold on. You've criticized things from NAR before about them being too woke.
Yeah.
Right. Them going over the top with the language and, and those kind of things. And, so I'm not, I mean, there's something going on here. Right. But that organization, I still think is, I don't think that there's a black and white thing here, because how can from the same organization you talk about, were you saying it's, they should never have talked about, had those kind of language or, things about like, that no NAR member should have hateful race speech.
Yeah. The speech codes. Yeah.
The speech codes and everything else. And then on the other thing, talking about how, these other kind of harassment things, right? It's like I don't think it's a black and white thing. There's something going on there, but, it's a weird situation right now. I don't know how to kind of take it all in as far as what's going on. We haven't read the article. We don't know what the article says, what it's focusing on or whatever. But, to me, to say that NAR is a place where they discriminate against race and gender and all those things, it just doesn't match what I've seen out there. Now, this last thing, I mean, it didn't really get much out there. It was settled pretty quickly, right? But just doesn't match for me the previous things that I've read about them, right? I mean, in fact, it's the more they seemed, they seemed more on the other side, the more woke as you kind of called them. Yeah, I don't know.
But so here's the thing, Greg, and I really sort of, it like crystallized for me, maybe part of this like song and just thinking about like where we are as a country and society. My issue with NAR going woke, among many, but the biggest one to me, quite frankly, is it's a lot of the perfect term I heard was woke washing, right? And the idea behind that was a lot of times these companies would get into these woke things like DEI or trans right or whatever the hell, right? Climate change or whatever. They would do that because they were failing at the core job, right? Like they weren't delivering, like Disney, for example. You can't make a hit movie, so you're going to go out there and talk about diversity and equity and inclusion, shit like that, right? My thing is, I feel like my criticism of NAR to some extent is we have just had like the worst possible housing markets for the country as a whole, right? We have just, and it's not just been the last 2 years. I think that's a mistake. Because if we go back to 2018, 2019, we were talking about housing affordability then. We were talking about inventory shortage then. We were talking about like over 10 years of just home prices going up every year, 3, 4, 5%. Meanwhile, fewer and fewer people can afford it. And the only thing that sort of made things seem affordable was zero interest rates, right? So that's one. What's the other major thing that NAR is supposed to do? What is like a core mission of NAR? It's professionalism. We've had 10, 20 years of members, leaders, everybody complaining about lack of professionalism. And they haven't done dick about that, but instead they're going to talk about DEI and climate change and all this distractions, right? And I think in light of what's going on, I guess what I'm feeling is there's something changing. There's something happening, right? Like there's no earthly reason why this song should be number one on the charts, right? It's not, he's not a great singer. I mean, he's got a cool voice, but you know what I mean? It's, honestly, and he himself has come out and said, look, I barely know my way around the guitar, right? It's like there's no production value, right? It's just him Appalachian blues in a forest somewhere with a mic and a guitar, and it's the truth, the authenticity, the raw honesty of it that's resonating, right? Because it's speaking to everybody, no matter your politics, your class. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, it's just your race, your gender. It don't matter, right? Your sexual preference. It doesn't matter. If you're if you're working, if you're struggling, if you're not the rich men north of Richmond, like, this is hanging to you, right? I'm looking at this going, you know what? Apply to what's our industry, apply to what's happening now, right? Dude, last I heard, most brokers, most agents are seeing somewhere between 25 and 40% declines in volume.
Yeah.
Home prices keep going up. So, you have these fucking economists out there like, look, we're not doing so bad. Like, home prices are back up. I'm like, are you nuts? Like, go talk to the actual people on the ground. And they're like, and again, they're fronting, right? Because let's face it, they're realtors. So they want to be like, no, everything's great. And, let me drive up in my Mercedes. But everybody's struggling. Everybody's hurting. And we're not going to talk about that, right? We're not going to address lack of professionalism. We're not going to address any of that. We're going to sweep sexual harassment claims under the rug. We're going to sweep corruption in our own fucking ranks under the rug. And do what instead? Instead, we're going to do speech codes. Instead, we're going to talk about the threat of climate change. Are you fucking kidding me? Like, that's what I'm at, right? And I'm emotional because I'm like, I'm feeling this, dude.
Yeah, I know, but we talked about a lot of this. I mean, you yourself said, I mean, this is just monetary. I mean, a lot of these things are problems
policy.
because of the pandemic, and we were just printing money, and that's nothing
right.
NAR or you and I or anything can do about that. In regards to, like,
Hold on. But I'm not saying NAR changes monetary policy. Okay.
Just professionalism is yeah.
Professionalism is your core goal. But here's the thing, from a messaging standpoint, right? Instead of going out there and continually waving the flag, like, how refreshing would it have been if NAR, if Lawrence Yun, if, Bob Goldberg, if everybody came out and said, hey, this money printing is gonna fuck us. Right? This crazy
well, it was just
shit.
boom times. They were so their membership was so in boom times that they couldn't think of the future of that, right?
Bingo, exactly. So I'm like, where the hell is under all this to land, right? Oh, what's going on to my mic, my camera, right? I mean, where the hell is this, like, concern for the country, right? Where the hell is the patriotic fervor that animates the realtor movement from its start? And here's my thing, Greg. Just about every realtor I know feel that. Like, they really feel it in their hearts. They really feel like, look, I'm trying to help my neighbors. I'm trying to help these buyers. I'm trying to help these sellers. I mean, yes, once in a while you run across the scumbags. You and I both know. The vast majority of realtors I know, they really give a shit about their clients. They really give a damn about the city they live in. They really give a damn about the country. Where the hell is our leadership coming out and echoing that, being honest about it?
Yeah, I think that's, to me, what as far as for me that resonates about the song is, and this I think goes across all sorts of things. Yeah. When he says the rich men of north of Richmond, this is all politicians, the people in charge.
Yep.
And I would even put the experts on that thing, like, and how everybody, I mean, seemingly unemployment, it's the lowest it's ever been. Inflation is gone down for 10 months down to kind of close to average. There's a lot of great things that are going on, but there's still I think this really, people just do not trust anybody anymore.
That's because we're being gaslit. That's because we're being lied to, Greg.
And that's what I think that's what the thing is about what he's saying is, like, this can be in Washington, this can be in San Diego, this can be in California, this could be at everywhere. The CDC, this could be, I mean, it could be anywhere. Everybody's just like, this could be CNN or Fox, or it could be, hold on. It just, I think it all goes together of nobody knows, they all think they're being played, and there's no trust anymore from anybody, right? And everybody's out for themselves, and it just as he says, he just wish he'd wake up one day and it wasn't the same. But I mean, I don't know how the hell you get out of this situation.
Look,
right?
so I want to make this point, like the reason why people don't trust anybody is because they're being lied to. Like you brought up two stats, like it's really good point. Unemployment is really low and inflation is on its way down. Except that again, if you are actually in the real world, it sort of don't feel that way, does it? You know what I mean? Like you could talk about inflation is down. Where the fuck are you getting these stats from? Right? Because gas is still what is around? It's like $5 a gallon, right? Rent is still going up. Housing's still unaffordable. Grocery bills have like doubled. I'm like, so there's only so much you can gaslight people until they go, wait, time out. What the fuck, right? Unemployment's really low. Meanwhile, like labor participation rate, all this, like it's nonsense. And I think the issue is that's at the national level. And I think it's sort of across all our institutions, right? What would it look like if people started really just telling, the truth about stuff, right? I mean, just think, like, isn't that what we're all wanting? Isn't that why, quite frankly, why this podcast, Industry Relations, tends to be popular? Because you and I just, we don't give a fuck. We're just telling, like, and I'm happy to be wrong. And I paid off a couple of bets, Greg, in which I was wrong, right? I plan on paying off more. But neither you nor I are ever sitting here like, we need to gaslit people, we need to virtue signal, we need to... No, man, this is just how we feel. This is our opinions. This is how we see it. We need a lot more of that, right? Especially in our industry, because we're dealing with housing, right? Like we should never, ever, as an industry, have it's a great time to buy or sell a house. It's fucking nonsense, right? And you know what? I actually think the successful realtors that are out there, I think they are calling it like they see it. I think they are being truly authentic with their clients, right? Whether they're rich investors or they're first-time home buyers, I think they're being authentic. And it's time our institutions have to start getting a lot more authentic, a lot more honest about what the hell's going on, right? If CAR had come out, as soon as SDR pops, if CAR and NAR had come out and said, this is unacceptable, here's what's going on, we're investing the shit out of it, and don't do the fucking polite corporate speak, do you know what I mean? Like, issue some press release. Like, if the CEO of CR just come out, like, from his heart, if this is true, this is completely unacceptable, we're going to get to the bottom of it. Members would feel a shit ton better about this, right? There's a sexual harassment allegation against the sitting president of NAR. If Bob Goldberg had come out just from his heart, hey, you know what? I believe him. And just maybe he's innocent, right? It's entirely possible Kenny is entirely innocent. Then you don't come out and just speak from your goddamn heart, right? Tell us what's going on. Tell us what you genuinely think instead of the corporate fucking PR
I think that's a lot
speak.
of times that's just driven by attorneys who are afraid to get sued, right? I mean, then just have that.
That's what I'm getting at, dude. Yeah. And no wonder people don't trust you, right? Because you're constantly giving them PR spin, or you're gaslighting them, or you're straight up lying to them, or you're sweeping shit under the rug. No, like, why would you expect to get trusted, right? And I think we're seeing that from this movement, this thing, right? And the relevance.
It's tough. I mean, you want leadership, and it's just becoming, more and more. When people look at like what the system's like, who wants to join? Who wants to like fight in that? Who wants to be a leader because of what the sacrifices that have to be made to your family and all the freaking social media and the just garbage that can be thrown at you to overcome that. It's just, it's just crazy out there. The people will say anything and lie just to, it's tough right now, and you can kind of understand why you don't see a lot more leadership out there. It's just, it's nuts.
Well, so like I said, NAR just wrapped up its leadership summit. Okay. Hey, leaders, here's I guess my take on things, right? To the extent that, like, if you want to take my advice, I suppose, like, why would you? But this advice is worth exactly what you paid for it, which is zero. So, right. I think if I'm a leader, whether I'm a association leader, MLS, brokerage leader, I think I would recognize now that something has changed in the country. Something has changed in society. Something has changed. And the change is we are sick and tired of being fed corporate sanitized bullshit. I think as a leader, you are far better off just going out and saying what's in your heart. Like, now you could be wrong, and you could just say, "Look, I could be wrong, but this is what I think. This is what's happening." Right? Stop lying to people. And again, the best is stop trying to fucking patronize people and protect them. Right? And this is relevant in like the commission lawsuit, dude. I'm going on like webinar presentation after presentation, and the number one thing I hear back from like local associate leaders is, I never heard this before. Why
That's
isn't
crazy.
NAR telling me any of these threats? Right? Like nobody's telling me that I could be criminally charged by the Department of Justice. Nobody's telling me this shit. I'm like, yeah, exactly. Why the hiding the ball? Why the, this this Kenny situation? Like I said, the man might be 100% innocent, right? But you know what we get? We get a sanitized like press release, the type you always see, like somebody's been accused of something, and it's like some statement released to the attorney. I'm like, dude, why are you not going on like a podcast and speaking your heart? And then like tell your story then, right?
I think there was if I read something about it, there was something at Leadership Summit where, Bob and others had taken the stage and talked about NAR's commitment to, diversity and everything else.
That's what I'm saying. But that's that corporatized bullshit. Who's not going to say that?
Yeah,
when I'm talking about authenticity, I'm saying Kenny should have gotten up in front of that stage and just spoken his heart. Here's what it is. Here's where I'm at. No fucking stop. Just stop. Right? That's at the leadership level. Right? Even to the brokers and agents. To brokers then, here's my thing. You know what? If your company's struggling, then don't hide it. Don't fucking bullshit it. Don't sugarcoat it. Be authentic about it. Right? The agents who follow you, who are loyal to you, they'll get it. Because you know what? They're struggling too. Right? And for the agents on the street, like, I know we all want to do deals, but you know what? When you understand that the people, like the actual American public is going through what they're going through, maybe don't sugarcoat shit. Maybe don't try to, pretend, like just be authentic about it, right? Just be, hey, this house is a piece of shit, but it's cheap. You should buy it. Right? That's a hell of a lot better than, well, look at the.
Well, I think most people can tell that. Yeah, I think most people can tell when a house is a piece of shit.
Like, so I think the solution here, I think what we all need as a society is just enough with the virtue signaling, enough with the spin, the BS, and let's just be like super real and just authentic and honest about it, right? And because here's the, you can disagree authentically and be fine. Right? Like, you think taxes should be higher. I think it should be lower. Whatever. We can disagree on that as long as it's authentic about it. It's cool, right? It's when everything is just obfuscated and spun and it's just gaslit, and that's when we just go, oh yeah, I don't trust you. Right? And what's the most important thing for real estate agents? In every survey that's ever been done throughout history, the number one characteristic is trust.
Yep.
Right. And all I can tell you is like, it's fucking hard to trust you if your whole presence through social media, whatever, it's all fake and it's all bullshit. Like, how am I supposed to trust that? Right. But if you're honest about it, like, this is who I am, this is my life, this is what I believe, and I'm going to tell it to you like it is, of course, it's way easier to trust. Right. And the crazy thing, like I said, man, just about every good realtor I know, every good broker I know, they're really good, decent people. Right. They're really good, decent people. They really care about their clients. They really want to do the right thing. Right. So maybe it's the marketing companies, maybe it's the gurus, maybe it's the consultants like me who are out there telling them like, you need to do this and you need to send this and use this AI chatbot in order to, what the fuck is authentic about an AI chatbot? Maybe it's take a step way back. It's like, no. Screw all that. Authenticity, phone calls, coffees, just sharing like what it's like, to be a human being in this industry with housing price. Like, I feel like that would almost be more effective now, right? Than the look at my BMW. Like, I feel something's changed, man.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, I've always been, I think, a proponent of those things. I mean, people have told me before, one of my superpowers has always been I've been able to bring up the most horrible, bad situations,
Yeah.
and be able to talk about them and get a meeting going, or like, okay,
Yeah.
we fucked up, or this is bad, let's talk about this. And a lot of people
Right.
don't know how to initiate that. They don't,
Right.
because they're uncomfortable with it. But if you're authentic and you're coming from a place where they know you're trying to help, it helps out things a lot, right? So, and it's
Right.
yeah, I mean, it's rare for sure. I mean, there's leaders out there that I think
Yeah.
want to do that, but also, it's they can only go so far, right? Because of their job requirements or anything else. But and I think in the case of NAR, it's such a big corporation that
Mm-hmm.
sometimes the attorneys have got hold of them. It's a damn shame.
It's a damn shame.
It's a damn shame, Rob.
I don't know, man. Like, and again, I'm not entirely sure what the solution is.
I need to get you a banjo, dude. I need to get you a banjo and a
I don't know how to
limerick.
play, and that's a dobro. But
Yeah.
like I said, I don't know what the solution is, and this isn't about me pretending to be like I'm some super wise like guru. Let me tell you exactly. No, but I do think the strategic element, if you will, the principle is, I really do think we're living in a new type of world, right? And
It's a new world.
yeah, I know, right? And it's interesting. Like, there's I watched a podcast with Jordan Peterson and Vivek Ramaswamy, right? The candidate.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to get into politics of it, but they said something that was super interesting. What they talked about was running for office in 2023, right? The old ways don't work anymore. The old ways in that case meant, like TV, right? All the way that politics has been done since the 60s, right? When Kennedy beat Nixon. So the TV, televised broadcast, going to media, the 30-second TV ads you're supposed to run, like what they talked about is like, that doesn't work anymore, right? What works now are these long form podcasts, where the candidate goes on a Joe Rogan for 3 hours and answers all the questions, that sort of thing. And, obviously he would say that because like it's working for him, but I actually think he's saying it because it's true. He's saying it. Vivek's like, it's working for me, right? Like, I don't have talking points. I don't have a press secretary.
No, I mean, I think
right?
I love watching those. That's why I like podcasts. I love listening
and
to those
RFK
conversations
the same
of people.
way, right? Right.
You just get to know something, more about somebody. Having them have two
right.
reasonable people having a conversation it's just gold for sure.
And it's hard to be inauthentic for that long, right? So whether it's Vivek or RFK or whoever, like, after a certain period of time, that like that's who they are. That's what they genuinely think, right? And whether you agree or disagree, at least like, okay, it's authentic. I'm kind of thinking like, I think we need to take a lesson from that. Whatever we've been doing in real estate and housing, a lot of we need to take another look at it. We need to re-question it, right? That maybe like the old ways of doing things, like hey, you need to have the social media profile, you need to have this type of branding effort, you need to whatever, do the resume, right? With like, I'm number one in my all that stuff. Maybe that doesn't work anymore, right? I don't know that it doesn't. I'm saying maybe it doesn't work anymore because the world has changed, and now it's going to be much more about that, like, real, authentic. This is who I am. Here's what I think. Let me tell it like it is, right? And not try and like talk you into a deal. Do you know what I mean? Like, maybe not that, right? Maybe it's just much more straightforward. Hey, you know what? You should not sell your house.
Yeah,
I mean, I need inventory.
Everybody's got their own niche in a way, and it's very hard to be the person you're talking about as far as you know and not to say that if you don't do that you're not going to be successful, but I think it's more of like what not to do than is what to do, right? I mean,
Sure.
just try to do as best of job of you can, and serve your clients as best as you can. I mean,
Yeah.
without being a fucking douchebag, right? I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, if we could all let's all be nicer to each other and everything else like
Kumbaya.
that. I mean, something.
Yeah. So I don't know. And here's the thing, man. Like, you're one of the best salespeople. You're one of the greatest marketers I know.
Thank you.
And I've seen you sell. I've seen you do the marketing, and I don't ever think you've ever bullshit anybody. Like when you were pitching.
Well, I mean, there's a problem.
Like, there's a.
Yeah, I know. Well, yeah. I mean,
you're authentic about it.
Well, you want to come from a place like of and again, this goes back to authenticity. Is like I've always said, the best marketing you have is to have a great product, right? So, so if you're coming from that where you believe that you have the best product, I mean, it's so much easier to do your job than anything else. I mean, marketing at that point is a tax in a sense, right? You have to do that. But I've benefited from being that authentic guy. I've also, I've taken some hits from it as well. But all in all, I think we're doing okay. But it's having most of my adult life started or software companies. I mean, it's tough being out there. It's tough doing those kind of things. It's tough trying to be yourself and pleasing and making sure your employees are okay and everything else. I mean, it's not an easy thing either, right? So it's a struggle for everybody, right? For sure. It's not easy.
Yeah. So I don't know we have that much. So let's try and wrap it up like this. I think the crisis we're having in the country, in society, and therefore within the industry, because we are obviously part of this country, part of the society. The crisis we're having to some extent is a crisis of faith and trust, because we have been lied to and gaslit for far too long, right? We have been not told what the hell's going on for far too long, right? As an example, like the SDAR thing, what's one of the things I've focused on the most there? Why is there no fucking audit? Why aren't you telling your own members what you're doing? How you're spending their money, what's going on? Like, transparency solves a lot of this. Being open and being authentic solves a lot of this. With houses, I mean, there's all this stuff in real estate that's about confidence, and I need to authenticity leads to trust, right? And I think the agents who've been trained, like, don't be authentic. You need to present yourself in a certain light, in a certain professional way, like certain dress code. Like, if that's not authentic to you, then don't fucking do it, because I don't think that shit matters anymore. Leadership. Y'all need to stop listening to your lawyer so much and start being real with like your people you're supposed to lead.
For sure.
I think that will go a lot farther in getting them to trust your judgment and trust you than you trying to pretend like I need to be this professional stop. Authenticity, I think, is the only way forward, because we gotta get past this, and I think we will. It's not gonna be easy. I think we will. I have faith. And the part of the faith comes from the fact that, like, this song, it's cutting across everything, man. Like, race, gender, political part. It doesn't, like, if you have this, it's resonating because of that truth, that honesty. And I think we can get there too, as an industry, and do something for housing, do something for, and we don't have all the answers. And I don't think we got to pretend like we have all the answers. We just got to be honest about what we know and what we don't know. Right, and just be a lot more authentic than we've been. That's my takeaway from all this.
Yeah. And when are we going to go viral, Rob? I mean, we need something. We how come we can't go viral?
I don't know, man. I think we're pretty. I don't want to go viral.
Okay,
that's the thing. I want to.
Yeah, I don't think we go viral for a good reason.
This is a great example. I don't want to do anything to go viral.
Right.
I just want to do whatever is real for us. And if that happens to resonate and go viral, fantastic.
And it's a good thing. then we can
That's
go
a
viral.
good thing, right? But not like I don't want to do things to get viral. I don't want to massage shit to like, oh, let's get We'll just keep it real, and then if it goes somewhere, great. If not, I still have fun talking to you. I still
Absolutely.
I'm still so grateful for the people who do listen to us, who do watch us, even if we're not viral. Do you know what I mean? Like, even if we didn't win the award for best podcast in real estate.
Damn it.
No, hey. All right. Well, with that, let's wrap there. Thanks everybody for listening to us rant.
Yep. Thanks everybody.
You know.
Listen, content is everything. Two Brothers Creative makes it look easy. Right now, business owners really only have two options. The first option is hire a big firm. Now, this big firm's going to come in, make you think that they invented all the algorithms, and start charging you thousands of dollars every month. You don't want to do that. Second option is to do it yourself. Well, that means you got to learn SEO, SEM, copywriting, marketing techniques on the web. You should be really focusing on your own product. But now there's a third option. It's called Content in a Box. Give Two Brothers Creative 30 minutes a week and they'll handle everything. Plus, they'll show you how to bring it in-house later on. They'll rebuild your marketing foundation and give you tools and techniques and a new marketing playbook that'll actually produce real results and help you grow your business. Two Brothers Creative will give you the confidence and know-how to tell the SEOs and SEMs and all those other acronyms to get fucked. You're in control now. Get started today at thecontentbox.com.